You ever found out someone was lying, but couldn't confront them because of how you found out? Here's the thing. I was lying too. Every Thursday night for 2 years, I told my husband Marcus that I was doing a book club with some women from work. In reality, I was driving to the botanical garden on the edge of town, walking the lit paths for an hour by myself, then sitting in the parking lot eating a sandwich and listening to a podcast. I needed one night a week where nobody needed anything from me. I felt too guilty to just ask for it, so I invented book club. Marcus had no idea. He'd ask what the book was. I'd answer. I kept a running list of titles I'd actually read years ago just in case he asked for a summary. Then about 4 months ago, I forgot my phone at home on a Thursday. I turned around 15 minutes into the drive and let myself back in quietly because Marcus had already said goodnight to me and I didn't want to make it a whole thing. I came through the side door into the kitchen. He was sitting at the kitchen table with his laptop open and his reading glasses on. Completely normal, except that he was video calling someone, and the someone on the screen was not anyone from work or a family member I recognized. It was a woman, late 30s maybe. She was laughing at something he had just said. He was leaning forward with both arms on the table the way he only does when he's really engaged in a conversation. I stood in the hallway doorway for maybe 4 seconds before he looked up. His expression when he saw me was not guilt exactly. It was something more complicated than that. Surprise, then adjustment, then a look I could not fully read in real time. He said, "Hi babe, I thought you were at book club." I held up my phone. Forgot this. He said, right, and looked back at the screen and said he'd talk later. The call ended. I asked who that was. He said a colleague from a conference he'd attended in the fall. They were collaborating on a project proposal. I said, okay. I grabbed my phone. I left. And here's the part I am not proud of. For the next 3 weeks, I did not say anything. I kept going to the botanical garden. I kept eating my sandwiches. But the whole time I was thinking, because here is what I noticed at that kitchen table. His laptop was positioned in a specific way, angled, like someone who doesn't want to be seen from certain angles. He hadn't heard me come in because I'd come through the side entrance. If I had come through the front the way I normally do, he would have heard the door. That's not a conference colleague situation. That's a Thursday night situation. That's a routine. I started paying attention to his phone, not going through it, just noticing. He started taking it to the bathroom. He started putting its screen down on surfaces when I walked into the room. Not dramatically, just consistently. I spent 3 weeks gathering nothing except a very clear feeling. Then I decided to use what I had, which was his ignorance about book club. One Thursday at dinner, I said, hey, we might be changing book club to Wednesdays. He looked up. He said, oh yeah? I said, yeah, one of the women has a Thursday thing now, and it's easier for everyone else. He said that's fine. He was usually around both nights anyway. I said, great, and watched his face. Nothing. No micro reaction, no careful neutrality. So the following week, I actually changed it. I told him Wednesday worked out for book club. He said no problem. That Thursday, I stayed home. Around 8:30, his phone lit up with a notification. He glanced at it, then set it face down, then 5 minutes later said he was going to the garage to look for something. I heard him in the garage on a phone call. His voice was low. I couldn't make out words. He was back inside in 12 minutes. I want to be very clear about what I did next. I did not snoop through his phone. I did not follow him somewhere. I sat on the couch and thought about my own life clearly, maybe for the first time in years. I had been escaping from my own marriage every Thursday for 2 years because I didn't have the confidence to just say I needed space. I had been lying by omission for so long that I had no clean ground to stand on, and I was now sitting here feeling betrayed when I had done my own version of the same thing. The next morning I told Marcus the truth. All of it. The botanical garden, the sandwiches, the podcast, the fake book titles. I told him I needed breathing room and had been too afraid to ask for it. He was quiet for a long time. Then he told me about the calls. Her name was Priya. They had met at the conference. It had not become anything physical, but it had become something he had started to look forward to every week, and he knew that meant it was already a problem. He said he had been trying to figure out how to end it without confronting the reason it had started in the first place, which was that he had felt disconnected from me for over a year.